What's up, y'all? DPD19, and we have a different video today. We are going to be reviewing Escape Land, which is a new and upcoming TCG. I think they're going to have their Kickstarter in, what is it, March or April? I don't remember exactly. Probably should remember this stuff before making videos, but I just woke up like an hour ago, and here we are. And I'm exhausted. So we'll start with the packaging. Definitely like the little small compact box. There's a lot of TCGs where you'll have this massive box and not even half of it has contents you actually need, whether it's rule book, cards, and whatnot. This one's more compact, so definitely a fan of that. So you have all the artwork on the sides, how the box looks, and the front. It definitely gives me a old school like red and blue Pokemon vibe. And if I remember correctly, Jet Yates, famous MetaZoo artist, is the one that did all the artwork for these. If it's different, if there's anyone else, then I'll try to let you know and look at it. But I bought a chunk of these, and we're going to see what's inside. I don't know if it's the same deck in each one, well, the same decks in each one, or if it's random. We're going to probably open 2 of them. I bought, was it 9? So we're going to open a couple. I'll probably put a couple singles in the eBay store, put a couple sealed, and just see how it does on the way to Kickstarter towards like March, April. So yeah, let's see how it is. And in terms of like gameplay, I'm not the best in terms of knowledge on the best games, worst games. I've played like Yu-Gi-Oh, which I always loved until they just made it overly complicated with like pendulums and everything. And I've played Pokemon before. It's relatively simple. And I've played the old and new MetaZoo, which some of it was easier to grasp than other aspects of it. But I did like both games also. So I'm probably not going to be too much of a help in terms of the gameplay aspect, but I'm sure there's other people that are definitely better than I am. So, all right, so here's the packaging. Loosey-goosey in here. I do wish that it was just like plastic wrapped, so it's not like, because you can hear it like slightly shake around in here, but it is just for like prototypes and people to test out and play. So I'm not gonna be hyper what's the word, maybe I shouldn't have done this video early in the morning. I'm not gonna criticize it heavily. There we go. That's not what I was thinking of, but so we have all the cards here. We're going to open, like I said, 2 of them, see what's inside each one. First things first with the card quality. And again, I know this is just like prototypes and stuff to get a feel for things. But card quality, like off of the bat, I do like. Feels decent. The sides feel slightly rough, but nothing a sharper cut can't fix. And we have cards here. They have more of a gloss finish to them, which normally I'm not a fan of like glossy finish cards because usually the quality suffers, but I'm not gonna lie. The quality for the most part, like this little tiny nick there, but it's, for a prototype, I've seen really bad prototypes and these are actually decently solid. Little tiny nick there, and the text does kind of protrude off the card, which I kind of like. It's like the slightest bit of texture on the wording. Let's just see like a different card, just see how it looks. Yeah, like see small little white nick there. But overall, the surface with the gloss, I do like. I do prefer more like matte finish cards, just because usually glossy finish to me, it's like, it gives the impression of like cheap, but it depends on how you do it. Like the Nom Nom prototypes 3 and 4, they were fucking terrible, and they were just glossy and thinner as can be. The thickness, I do like the thickness of the cards. I think it's about right what it should be, so that's very nice. And in general, it's not texture, but the outlines do kind of stick out ever so slightly. And that's not something I really see out of a TCG. Like, I don't know if you guys can tell there, but so far, I'm content with car quality and whatnot. And you guys can read read the uh, read the descriptions over there. You can read the effects that the cards have. This is a basic. All this stuff is like gibberish to me just because I haven't read a rule book, and I do wish that there was a rule book, just like even if it's just out of regular paper and just cheaply put in there. Like, I wouldn't care as long as there's like a visible rule book in hand for these, just because I won't personally go online, look over the rule book, and I don't like reading rule books online. Like, MetaZoo has theirs online. I hate that. I prefer in person, be able to read it like that, and there you go. Especially if you open the deck, it's readily available right in front of you. So that's what I personally prefer. I know a lot of people do prefer that as well, but a lot of people are fine with just looking it up online. So, God dang it, my voice sounds like crap. All right, so we have Manti, we have Mystical, nice little play on words, and so far these are, yep, all by Jet Yates. As far as I know, all of them are done by Jet Yates, but Mystical. We have Relics. I do really like this one. I don't know why. Just a look of it. When I looked at the box art, this was definitely one of my favorites, and that one what looks like a Koopa Kid was one of my favorites. That one's kind of cool. It reminds me of Wendigo. But I really like that one too. I don't know why. I'm more of like a Fire Dark type of like fan personally, but I do really like that one. Just the art style for like the old school like red and blue Pokemon, I really dig. Centering, this one's pretty fun. The border's not that wide. Like, there's not much room for error, so you can tell if it's off center like immediately. So maybe make the borders slightly wider, just because seeing a card off center is going to be extremely easy compared to like wider border cards. But that's food for thought in the future. Maybe the creator prefers it like this and then wants to try something different, which is fine too. All right, so we got Relics, Shellfire. Ooh, we have Igniter. This definitely looks like it would be a holo, just because like in the background, I can't tell if that's supposed to be a holo for the future or if that's just the artwork that Jet Yates did. But as a holo, that would be fucking fire. No pun intended. That would be sick. Aerospear. Ponder. That's very similar to Sprigatito in my opinion. Slash Main. There was a couple of them that I saw, and I was like, we're teetering on borderland of too similar with Pokemon. We have Bone Lash. This would look sick as a holo too. Wolfrix. Maybe that's just the background in general, or there are holo versions that he's already like tested with, and that's why it kind of gives that effect. I'm not sure. Wolfrix. The monsters, I've liked all of them so far. The baby ones, they're kind of cool, but the monsters are the ones I really like over the basics. I'm also not much of a chibi guy, so like first stage evolutions, I was never a fan of Pokemon. Final stage, I'm like, yes, I want that one. Volcarion. Is that the one I thought? No. There was one where it was like blatant of what it looks like, and hopefully it's in here so I can show what I mean. We have Carlix. Oh, there's Legends. Was that a Legend? That's a Legend too. That's pretty sick. All done by Jet Yates. I do really like the artwork. It gives me the old school vibe, which is very, very nostalgic to me. How it does as a TCG, like long term after Kickstarter. Who knows? You need to see how the Kickstarter does and everything, and how they do with time frames, printing cards, quality, everything. So there's a lot until that time hits, but I'm really, really liking the nostalgia vibes from it. We have Glimus. This is the one of the ones I did really like off the box art. That's sick. Glimus, Lunaflare, Thumpster, little bunny or rabbit. Swolbert, that motherfucker's a little swole. Clover, Cryptail, Ghoulfetch, and we have Gravemaw, and Grinshade. Oh, there's more. Hexhopper, and another Ponder in the back. I'm kind of curious if that's like that in the entire deck, where the Ponder was just kind of accidentally put in the back. And if it's sorted by hand and put into the decks afterwards, then that's an easy like thing where one card can get put in the wrong section. So we're going to open one more just to see. I'm assuming they're all the same decks. I wish there was a rule book for like me or new people to just see immediately of like how the gameplay works and how the deck is constructed. Because on the back, I'll let you pause and read if you want. What it says is the Dragons and Fish Pals deck, and then the Ghoulies and Snugglers deck. And while I can probably figure out like which decks go to which, like a random novice isn't really going to know like how to separate into two separate decks. Because it doesn't, I don't think it says any specifics of like what's a Ghoulie, Dragon, Snuggler, Fish Pals. Like you can assume that's a Fish Pal. And oh, there, nope, I lied. It's just on this one. Okay, so these, it does say Snuggler there, but then on here it doesn't say it. But I'm assuming the label on the bottom left might. No, that wouldn't make necessarily sense, because you also, that's a Fish Pal and that's a Dragon. So that's probably just, I'm not sure. See, I do wish there was like a basic rule, but even if it was just like the traits and everything, what they are, what deck you can make with what, if there's any limitations, like stuff like that. Like that says Dragon, Fish Pal, Fish Pal. But on the, I think, yeah, Legend, it shows it. But on the monsters, it doesn't show it. So I would add that onto there just because of confusion. Like, I do like the flavor text, but I don't think it's necessary. Like, I'd rather have this info than the random flavor text that no one's probably going to read. And also, it's not really adding anything to the card, if I'm being honest. I don't think it is. I think that information would do better. I don't personally think weight really matters. As long as there's Dragon, like if you want to have length and weight, that's fine. It's like similar to Pokemon in that aspect. But like the flavor text here, it's just a weird place to have flavor text. If you want to have it, maybe put it elsewhere. But I'm personally not a fan of that. I'd rather just the regular stuff. And if a monster can be in like any deck, and like the type like Fish Pal or Ghoulie doesn't matter, again, I'd like to easily be able to know that with a simple like cheat sheet or like a physical rule book for the future. And again, this is a prototype. This is just prototypes. This is just me giving constructive criticism of like what I like, what I don't like. Overall, I like it more than I expected so far. Still don't know how I feel about the glossy finish, but with a little bit of raised texture on like the outlines of everything, I do like it a little bit more than I would have expected. And like, it's not like, oh, this massive texture. It's just very, very slightly raised. And I do like that. So we're going to open one more of these just to make sure that, hey, it's the same thing in each one. There's two separate decks. There's nothing different in each deck. It's the exact same thing. And for the future with future, actual decks with the Kickstarter and everything, I'm assuming that it'll be plastic wrap the deck and small little rule book, or even, like I said, a cheat sheet, something in there as well. I do like the minimalistic size, like if you can keep the small size and have it plastic wrapped and it's not moving, and you have whatever info else here, because there's plenty of space for other stuff. Don't, for the love of Christ, put fucking coins in there, please. It's just a waste of money and a waste of time. I don't understand it to this day why people for any game does coins. It's just mass produced, and for the most part nobody gives a shit, and they'll use their own stuff anyways. Like Pokemon, what do you need 7 million coins of a Pikachu small when no one's gonna use them? Most likely no one's gonna collect them. It's gonna end up in the trash or something. So Manti, Mystical, Relix, Shellfire, Igniter, Aerospear, Ponder, Slash Main, Bone Slash, Volcarion. Yeah, it looks like all the same. It looks like the last card is the same section. So maybe that's just supposed to be like that, where Ponder is also on the back. Or maybe it's just a set-wide thing where it was supposed to be here, or it was supposed to be in the back. I don't know. But overall, good first impression. Definitely a good first impression for me. I do like it. I wish I could look into the rule book in person a little bit. And like I said, I know it's available online. I believe they do have it. It's just, I don't know. I just don't like reading rule books online. I'm also lazy. There's the other part of it. I'm lazy, and you got to think of, like, consumers are fucking lazy. If you need to give them an extra step or two to get to learn your TCG, most of them aren't going to take that extra step or two. You want to make it as easy and as foolproof as fucking possible. So that's just for future thought. And I do like the side. Like, you can see the little circles on the side. Like, if you fan it out like that, very, very colorful. You can even see it on the side there. Like, just turn it like this, even though it's together. I do like that look. And all the colors. Very, very vibrant. And Jet Yates did a great job on all the artwork. I don't see it here, but there was one specifically I've seen where it's dead ass a fucking Nidoking with wings. And I was like, that's... maybe don't use that one. That one's a little too close for my liking. But I can see where she drew a lot of the inspiration from, and the artwork does look amazing, and I do really like a lot of them. Definitely gives me the cool nostalgia vibes. So, all right, we have somehow stretched this out to 20 minutes, so I'm gonna shut the hell up now. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all looking for the Kickstarter. I'm gonna try to put the link of the Discord in the description, as well as their Instagram. If you guys do want to give it a follow, you want to check it out, you want to look into it more, feel free. And yeah, I will catch y'all later. Peace.